Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And first of all, today you're going to be seeing in the background some Modern Warfare 3 gameplay, of course, because Modern Warfare 3, great game, having a blast playing it, and I got a couple of cool little gameplays to play in the background whilst we talk about today's topic. And today's topic, as you can guess by the title and thumbnail, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, is what is the best Xbox to play these old reverse, all these Call of Duties through Xbox reverse compatibility or through the 360. I'm kind of going to discuss that through today's video, but enjoy the gameplay in the background, enjoy these MW3 gameplays. Unfortunately, they're not MOABs or anything like that. I am trying, I'm kind of getting to grips with it, but I'm having a blast playing Modern Warfare 3, and these gameplays were pretty okay, with the SCAR as well. The SCAR's nice, okay? I know the ACR is pretty dominant in this game, but the SCAR was pretty good too, so enjoy that in the background. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about what you guys have clicked on this video. And I kind of wanted to make this video as well because I've been getting a lot of comments about this in the comment section, and I think there are some people who've never played on an Xbox, like Xbox One and that, possibly even never played on the 360, which I think is crazy if you didn't, but there are people out there who may never have played on the 360. And I'm getting a lot of comments about, is this playable on Xbox One? Is this playable on 360 only? Is it just Xbox servers that are fixed? And I kind of want to talk about that all today, in today's video. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is what are the games, what Xbox can play these reverse compatible Call of Duties. And it is basically any Xbox besides the original Xbox. Okay, do not go back and load up that thing from like 2000 or whatever it was. The basically you can play on the 360, the Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox One X, any Xbox past the 360 era can play these reverse compatible Call of Duties. It's just, when I say reverse compatible, obviously if it's on the 360, then it's native to the actual console these games were made for. But you can play on any one of these Xbox consoles. Now, some of you guys are probably asking, what is the best Xbox to play? Now, there's no real definitive answer here, but I can give you the pros and cons of playing on each console, especially if you don't have one of these consoles. So I'll start with the beginning. We'll start with an Xbox 360. Now, Xbox 360 is great to go up, and load and play here in 2023. You can play on your 360, okay? Now, there are some benefits and some cons to this. So the benefit is you're not going to have as many issues running these games with a controller, and having input delay and stuff, because these games are native to the 360, so you won't have as many issues with that. However, the issues with input delay and that are easily fixable. I do have a video on my channel discussing how to fix that if you are playing for an Xbox One, which you can check out if you want to, but I don't feel like the issue is that, ridiculous that you should go back and play on a 360, especially as I feel like some people are doing it to try and get an advantage. And it just isn't that much of an advantage, it's barely noticeable. I don't think it's that big of an issue. So I wouldn't personally go back and get a 360 if you have an Xbox One. Two, Xbox 360 consoles at this point, we are in 2023, right? If you're out there trying to buy a 360, it's most likely going to be secondhand. And the chances of those consoles being broken or being close to being worn down are pretty high, okay? There might be some people selling new mint condition Xbox 360s that they never played, but you're probably paying through the roof for them, because I know people do actually pay through the roof for mint condition Xbox 360s, mainly to mod and stuff on them, because I believe you have to have like a non-updated Xbox 360 and stuff to do that sort of stuff. So a 360, you can go back on it and play. And also, if you have friends on Xbox One, you can play with them, by the way. I do feel like this question pops up a lot in my comment section. You can play with people on Xbox One through the 360. However, what has to happen is you won't be able to join their party chat on Xbox One. The people on Xbox One will have to go to the 360 party chat and play through the 360 party chat. And the issue with that is the 360 audio isn't as great as the mic quality of nowadays, of the Xbox One party chat and stuff. And obviously you can use Discord through Xbox One, whereas you wouldn't get that benefit through the 360. But the other benefit, a 360 console, if you can get a secondhand one that it is good and working, will probably be quite cheap, okay? It'll be cheaper than buying a modern day Xbox One. But at the end of the day, you can still get Xbox Ones for very good prices as well. So yeah, the 360... you can use it, okay? You can play with your friends on Xbox One. You can join people on Xbox One. There's no split in the servers. You won't play with only 360 players. You will play with Xbox One players also playing through reverse compatibility. So I feel like I need to get that out of the way and answered when it comes to playing on the 360. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to all. I'm kind of going to bundle them all together because I can't really discuss each individual Xbox, right? From the Xbox One X to the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One original. I'm kind of going to bundle them all together. So the kind of cheaper consoles out of the Xbox Ones. And, you know, they're still a little bit pricey, but they're still the cheap ones, right? You've got the original Xbox One, the first Xbox One that came out. Will be able to play these games through reverse compatibility. Absolutely no issue. No problem whatsoever. The difference between the 360, of course, again, it won't be native to the game, so you will have possibly input delay issues and that. I don't know how effective they will be or how much of an issue these will be on the Xbox One, because I know the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, wasn't the most incredible console, okay? I did own that console. I'm gonna be honest. It was probably the worst Xbox I've ever owned, and that's saying something. You know, I don't want to bash a Microsoft product because I do like a lot of Microsoft products. As you've seen through the Elite controller, I love that thing. I love the Xbox Series X. I love the Xbox 360. There's a lot of things they do well, but the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, was not a great hit, okay? Now, it will be able to play these games perfectly fine, okay? There'll be absolutely no issue with that. And if anything, you'll be able to pick up an Xbox One for probably a very, very good price nowadays. But yeah, if you are looking to play games other than old Call of Duty titles on an Xbox One, that's where the issue lies, okay? If you're someone trying to get into Xbox now because of these old Call of Duties being playable on Xbox One and, you know, being alive and well here in 2023, the problem you're going to have if you want to play modern day Call of Duties is you're going to be behind. And if anything, I feel like we're going to start seeing like kind of a discontinuing pattern. Sort of maybe newer Call of Duties might not support the old Xbox One as much. I don't know how, you know, possible that is. I don't know what the sales figures are and stuff for the original Xbox One and stuff compared to, obviously I know the Series X is the least owned console, but that is the newest console and also the one that was hard to get for a couple of years. But we'll get onto that in a bit anyway. So yes, an Xbox One will be able to play these games perfectly fine. You'll have no issues whatsoever. However, if you want to play newer Call of Duties and stuff and you are trying to get into Xbox, I would avoid the Xbox One. You will have so many issues with newer games when trying to play. Let's say, for instance, the new Modern Warfare 3, right? It's been leaked, okay? The new Modern Warfare 3. You will probably struggle massively in that game with issues like FPS issues, graphics and stuff. It just won't play too well, and it just doesn't hold up well here in 2023. Next up, let's talk about the cheaper versions, okay? Let's talk about the Xbox Series S, okay? And like Xbox One S and all that. And actually, we'll go with the Series S, okay? The Series S is the one I'd like to talk about the most, because this is the one that I'm probably going to recommend the most. And it's not the console that I own. It is the one that I own is the Xbox Series X, which is what I play on. But the Xbox Series S, for the price point that it's at, is fantastic, okay? And the reason I'm kind of going to recommend this one is because, one, it can play these get these Call of Duties perfectly fine. Again, has no issues playing these games whatsoever. Two, I am expecting a possibility, okay, because Microsoft does this, and if these games, well, I say if, these games will come to Game Pass. I will absolutely bet my life on it that these Call of Duties will come to Game Pass. There's no reason they fix the servers for nothing, okay? These will come to Game Pass. And I have a small suspicion that they might do a thing called FPS boost. Now, they've done this for some titles on the Game Pass and stuff, but basically they can boost the FPS of these older games and allow you to play at higher frame rates on these games. And these games would be possible, I could imagine, to make them play at 120 FPS, and the Xbox Series S will be able to do that. Basically, the Xbox Series S is just a massively cheaper version of the Xbox Series X, but not quite as powerful, okay? And I say not quite, there's a little bit of a gap, right? But it's not miles off, okay? It was kind of a good price point to get people into the next gen, is what Microsoft did. And the Xbox Series S is at a very good price point, and is also a very good, you know, Xbox to have, especially if you are getting onto, again, if you are trying to get into having an Xbox Series S is probably the best option right now, because you will be able to play games at 120 FPS. Not every game, but quite a lot of games. You will have the same chance to play at those higher FPSs, just like having an Xbox Series X. It's at a good price point. You can play these games reverse compatible. You can join your 360 friends if people want to play through the 360. You know, you just have to play through the 360 party chat, of course, but that'll be something for you guys to discuss with your friends. Also, you know, you can use Discord on your phone, or I don't know if people use Skype still. You can do that sort of thing, right? So there are ways around these things if you've got people who are playing through the 360 still. But yeah, the Xbox Series S is at a great price point, and if you want a good console for the modern Call of Duties, like for instance, like I said, the Modern Warfare 3 that's coming out probably, I think, October, November, or whatever, you know, the yearly release of Call of Duty, right? It'll be powerful enough, it will be great enough to play that game at, you know, a great graphics, great FPS. You'll be able to get the most out of it, depending on your monitor, of course, depending on, you know, how powerful your monitor is and stuff. And that's something, you know, I could maybe discuss in another video about what monitors you should be getting for these consoles. But if you have a great enough monitor that's built to play at 120 FPS and 1440p, or, you know, even 1080p is fine. 1440p isn't really a big difference. You know, you could even stretch 4K, I believe, with the Xbox Series S. And again, even if it's outside of Call of Duty, if you want to play single-player games that you are interested in on Xbox, an Xbox Series S is going to be the console to go for. So in my opinion, the best console you can buy to play these reverse-compatible Call of Duties and kind of get yourself into Xbox and be able to play, you know, older Call of Duties, the new Call of Duties, and any first, you know, other games that you want to play, you know, any single-player games you want to play, an Xbox Series S is at such a great price point and is the console that I am going to recommend for you guys to get to play these reverse-compatible Call of Duties. And again, there are other benefits. For instance, the Elite Controller. The Elite Controller you can use on an original Xbox One as well. I forgot to mention that. You can still use that across any Xbox One. Your Xbox One, an Xbox Series X, an Xbox Series S. So if you want to upgrade your controllers even to the controller that I have, you can do that. It will happily play on an Xbox Series S. It's not native to just the Xbox... you can play that on Xbox Series S. It's not just native to the Xbox Series X like I have. And speaking of the Xbox Series X, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, Xbox Series S, in my opinion, is the console that you should go for when it comes to playing these reverse-compatible Call of Duties, and also just getting yourself onto an Xbox. I think it's a great price point. It will last. It's a good Xbox. It's just all-round the best one, I think. I think it does the best of both worlds without being too much, you know, of a price point. If you guys can afford it, of course. Next up, we're going to talk about the big one, okay? And that is the Xbox Series X. Now, this is the one I'm going to talk the most about because I have this console, okay? And this thing is amazing, okay? I love this console. It is great. It's absolutely amazing. Very underrated. It sold less than the PS5. I do know that. But you guys on PlayStation don't have reverse-compatible Call of Duty, of course. So, of course, you guys are going to want to get onto Xbox. And I think some of you are going to look at the Xbox Series X and think, I'm going to get that because that's the most powerful console. Which is great, right? You can load into games fast and stuff. But does it actually give you an advantage in these games? Absolutely not, okay? You will not play at higher FPSs unless they do the FPS boost. Then that's where it'll get a bit debatable whether or not these, you know, an Xbox Series X will have an advantage. That's when it will become debatable. But again, that's something we're waiting on Microsoft to do. And, you know, we don't know if Microsoft are going to do that. We don't know if that's something that's in the works. But again, if that does happen, then of course I will talk about that when that does happen, or if that happens. But for now, you will not get a huge advantage, okay? You'll be able to, you know, load up games faster and stuff, right? That's about as best you're going to get. You know, that's the best fit, the benefit you're going to get. You're still going to play at 60 FPS like everyone else. You're still going to have the same, you know, controllers available to you. There's nothing really too crazy that's going to give you an advantage on these older Call of Duties. However, it is a fantastic console. It is a bit pricey. And that is the thing. If you want to get into an Xbox and you want to have a great Xbox, like a really, really top-notch, top-of-the-line Xbox, and you want the best Xbox, then an Xbox Series X is your best bet, okay? It's going to be fantastic for the newer Call of Duties. You're going to play at 120 FPS consistently. You'll be able to do it at 1440p easily. You'll be able to play new games at 4K, no problem. If you have the monitor capable, of course. The Xbox Series X is an absolutely unbelievable console and one that I stand by. It was a great purchase and I absolutely stand by it when I bought it, when it was pretty much almost unavailable, okay? I got very lucky to get it. I had to get, during COVID actually, I believe, I had to queue outside a game to get it and everything. It was crazy. But I absolutely stand by this console, amazing console, and is one that's well worth getting if you have the funds. Do not spend all your money if you're just going to play old Call of Duty titles. It is not worth it to buy the Xbox Series X just to play these old school Call of Duties. That is my big advice on that. The only reason I would benefit, you know, I feel like you would benefit or would want to get an Xbox Series X is if you plan on playing other Call of Duty games, for instance, the newer ones coming out and stuff, or even, you know, the first-party titles coming to Xbox, for instance, things like Starfield, stuff like that. If you want to play them at 4K, at amazing resolutions, at amazing FPS, If you have a monitor that's capable as well, do not go out and get these Xboxes like the Xbox Series X if you don't have a monitor capable. Otherwise, you're wasting a big benefit of having an Xbox Series X. So yeah, that's kind of going to be my overall talk about Xboxes and what you should have and what you shouldn't have. I might have went over the limit of what gameplays I have here, so I might just throw on a little bit more footage just so you guys, can see something in the background. Otherwise, you're going to be, seeing a black screen. But I hope this kind of answers your questions and answers your thoughts about these things. So again, to kind of summarize it, I would personally pick the Xbox Series S as a good price point, as a way to get onto Xbox and be able to play old Call of Duties whilst also be able to play new Call of Duties, and being able to play any other games that you might find valuable to yourself, like Assassin's Creed or Starfield or something that you might find beneficial, and be able to play at great 1440p or even possibly 4K, 120 FPS, 60 FPS quite consistently, and perfectly fine. Xbox Series X, only get if you are absolutely wanting the best hardware that you can possibly get to play Xbox games. Do not get it if you are just going to play old Call of Duty titles. It is absolutely not worth buying an Xbox Series X for that reason. An Xbox One is perfectly fine. It will do the job for these old school Call of Duties, and if you are just going for old school Call of Duties and you don't care about new first-person titles, new titles coming to Xbox, or any new Call of Duties, then an Xbox One might be good for the price point. You'll be able to get it up cheap. You'll be able to get it for a perfectly good price point. And yeah, you will be able to play these games perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. And again, anyone from Xbox One can play with people on 360 and vice versa. If you are playing from a 360, you play with people on Xbox One. But if you want to join and play with people on Xbox One in a party chat, and that, the people from Xbox One have to join a party chat on the 360, which again, the audio is not going to be amazing, but that's the only way possible unless you guys, have phones and stuff and do Discord, etc., Skype calls, or just a phone call or Messenger, whatever it may be. And if you don't want to use the 360 party chat, if you are the person playing on 360, or vice versa, you have a friend playing on 360, that's the only way you'll be able to communicate. Or game chat. You can play in game chat, of course, which can be fun if you're playing Search and Destroy. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers you guys' questions about this, and I hope I've given you guys, any of you looking into getting an Xbox for these old school Call of Duty titles, I hope I've given you like a brief insight into what Xbox you should and shouldn't have. Also, your monitor does depend as well. Like, you need a good monitor if you want these higher end Xboxes as well. That is something I'd like to mention, because otherwise you are wasting the benefit of the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your questions on that. Any questions you have about this video today, or anything you want to know more about Xboxes, like the 360, the Xbox One, Xbox Series S, the Xbox One X, let me know in the comments. I will try to answer them as best I can. And of course, there are other people on the channel. We've built a community here on the channel. I've already seen we've hit past 2,000 subscribers easily, which is insane from you guys. I want to say a massive thank you for that. I don't think I've actually mentioned that in the video. I did make a post about it, but it was absolutely insane from you guys that we've hit 2,000 subscribers as fast as we have. It's absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, it's insane. And I know a lot of you are also helping other people in this community when it comes to answering questions about certain things, mainly with the older Call of Duty titles, and kind of what to expect, like when it comes to cheaters and the player bases and stuff, which is great to see. If you guys have answers for other people, then feel free to leave them down below for those people, because I try my best to answer everyone's questions, but obviously I'm only one person. There's a lot of you people asking questions at the moment, which is perfectly fine. And again, I'm trying my absolute best to answer your questions as best as possible. But yeah, I'm going to leave it like that for today. Again, any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer them, each and every one of them, as best as I can. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye!